Welcome to the Sam and Joe VA Show, where we teach women just like you how to start and scale a thriving virtual assistant business.
We're your hosts, Sam and Joe, and get ready to have the control, flexibility, and freedom you've always dreamed of.
Welcome to episode 128, Why We Love the Woo-Woo.
We do love the woo-woo, and I think this is going to surprise some of our listeners actually, because we're also very practical business owners as well. So I think that's probably why this episode is going to be quite surprising for some, because we do love the woo-woo. We embrace the woo-woo on a daily basis. So get ready to find out why we love it so much.
Yeah, I believe that everything is energy, and there are so many kind of, we call them like occasions where it has proven to me over and over and over that woo-woo is a thing and it works. It really does.
It does
Like,
work.
I'm thinking of like all of the examples in my head of like so often, and even coming onto this episode, the weirdest thing happened. Like, we have this thing about the number 1111. We see
Mhm.
it everywhere all the time. And for us, it's like it shows us and it reminds us that we're on the right track. Like,
Yes.
this is happening. You guys are doing the right things. Keep going. It's a real motivator. And just as we came on and hit record on our phone, 1111, 11 minutes past 11.
Here we go. I'm going to show it. Can you see that for those watching
Mhm.
on YouTube? 1111. And the crazy thing about this number that keeps on appearing for us is that, well, not so crazy. Some people think it's crazy. We don't. It appears to us when we most need the reminder.
Mm.
It never appears when we are feeling 100% confident about something. It always appears when, for whatever reason, we might be doubting something that we've just done, or feeling a bit vulnerable about something, or even second guessing a decision that we've made about something else. You can guarantee that is when this number appears for us.
We send it to each other, we screenshot, we show like, here's the number again, here's the number again. Yeah. It's a very, very cool sign. And seeing the signs is one of the kind of really front of mind, happens all the time, seeing the signs for us and the virtual assistants that we coach too. It appears all the time. Like, there are things that if you're open to it, and lots of the things that we're
Mm.
going to talk about today really do require an open mind. So when we're open to it, we recognize when the universe, the divine, your God, whatever you want to call it, when they're sending us a sign. But you have to be open to it. You have to be open to seeing it.
Ah, you absolutely do. It's like hypnotism.
Mm.
I've been hypnotized before
Have you?
yeah, I
Wow.
have. Yeah, not one of those entertaining get up on stage and turn me into a chicken type of thing. I literally went for a reason, and in the hope that it would
Mm.
provide the thing that I needed at that time,
Yep.
which was some confidence that I had around a big block that was definitely holding me back. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to try something a bit woo-woo.
Yeah.
This is about 20 years ago.
Mm.
And so I went to a hypnotist here in the Waikato, and it was really interesting. Like, my dad especially was like, it's not going to work. That's a waste of money. I tried it when I wanted to try and quit smoking, and it didn't work at all. And there were other people that had similar experiences. And it's like, I bet you went into that appointment of yours knowing it wasn't, or thinking it wasn't going to work, assuming it wasn't going to work. So of course it's
Mhm.
not going to be. Whereas
Mhm.
I went in going, you know what? Open mind. I reckon this could help. It may not completely fix the issue, but
Yeah.
what's the worst that can happen? And I
Yeah.
tell you what, it got me through that block that I had. It
That
absolutely worked for me.
that's amazing. And that does reconfirm too. Like, for me, you have to have some belief.
Yes.
Because if you just completely block it out, then of course it's never going to work for you because you have no belief that it could even be possible or that it's even an option, or that it might work. So, yeah,
Yeah.
totally believe you've got to have an open mind to it.
Have that open mind.
Mm.
Another really practical, a more kind of practical
Practical in the woo woo.
yeah, the two kind of don't really marry, do they? But a really good example that we heard of recently from a virtual assistant was she had a big ass sign. This was a big one. Like, I don't think there was any escaping this one. This was the universe slapping her around the face, saying,
Mhm.
"This is it. You've ignored all the other signs. This is your final sign that I'm going to give you." And that was around her pricing. She knew what her pricing should be. She put up her pricing, but she was in she was in a meeting with a potential client, a new lead, and for some reason she found herself offering a discounted rate to this lead. Now the lead, very savvy business owner, went, "Those aren't the prices that you've got on your website. I know what you charge. So why are you offering me a discounted rate?" And in that moment, she was like, "Oh, yes, okay, I get it now. I am listening, and this will be the last time I ever do that."
That's
It was
great.
a
And
sign. How is
uh,
that not a sign?
totally a sign. And I actually think that business owner was really smart because if she had accepted a discount, I reckon that client would know that she wouldn't then be or he wouldn't be the priority
Mhm.
and that there might be some resentment in doing the work. So, like, I mean, she might not have thought that, but like, it's actually quite smart. And
It's
if
very
that
smart.
wasn't the biggest slap in the face,
Yeah.
it's what she needed to never discount again, right?
Yes. Look out
Mm,
for those signs, be
mm.
open to them, and listen to them. Like, don't ignore them. If you are seeing a sign and your brain is going, "Oh, okay, right," don't then ignore it. Do something with that
Mm.
sign. What a
Yeah.
waste.
I have this thing that the universe used to do to me when I was like in my early 20s, having the biggest amount of turmoil in my life I've ever had. Um, I was not doing well in my early 20s.
Mm.
I did a lot of drugs on the weekend. I did way too much partying. I surrounded myself with like not great people. I would like just had crappy jobs, not living my potential at all. And the universe was like really trying to stop me from being in that place. It used to, and this is like, yes, I'm blonde as well. I would often walk into a glass wall or a glass door or hit my head on something as I was trying to leave the house.
Wow.
And I would stop and I would be like, the universe does not want me to go and do what I'm about to go and do. And one time I was like, I'm going to go do it anyway. Went into town, partied all night, and I parked my car in this like back alleyway in Hamilton, and my car got broken into. And I often not lived homelessly in my car, but I filled my car with lots of my stuff because I kind of like couch hopped around or whatever, and had my clothes in there, and so all my shit got stolen. And so now, if I ever bang my head on something, I don't ignore it, and it doesn't happen very often anymore because I've learnt my lessons and I'm in a really good place. But
Yeah.
I would ignore the signs, and the universe was trying to stop me from doing dumb shit.
Wow. That's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. I totally believe it though. It was telling
Yeah.
you, you are gonna die if you keep on going out and doing this type of, reckless behavior.
Yep.
Something is gonna happen and there will be no coming back from it.
Yeah. And I think I was quite open to that and knowing that it was a sign too, because my dad's quite a spiritual person,
Mm,
like clairvoyant kind of person, helping lots of people with spiritual stuff. So I was really like brought up like that, open
yeah,
and like noticing that the universe does give you signs. So
yeah.
yeah.
Have you been to a clairvoyant?
Yeah, I have had a reading, like a proper reading. So my
Yeah.
dad obviously helps me a lot. But I have had a proper reading. It said, "You're gonna have a lot of boyfriends in your life." The only thing that I remember.
It's so funny.
And, had to go through a few, I've been divorced and I'm not with my son's dad. So, yeah, now I found Lance. She was right.
Aw, she was
Yeah,
right. She
she
was
was right.
right. Wow.
Wow,
This
this
has
is
gone
a
on a
really
tangent. This has gone on a
deep,
complete tangent now.
deep podcast. I don't think I've told anyone these kind of things, and now I'm telling all of you and you, Sam.
Wow. Have you had any,
Yeah.
like, spiritual experiences?
Ah, I have because I
Yeah.
had to say it at the bloody
Oh,
awards.
yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, so because we were brought up spiritual and, really open to that, then, we're at my cousin's place. We often played in the school holidays, and there was kind of this end of the hallway that had this really yucky feeling. Like, none of us liked being down there, and it was just
Mm,
horrible. And there was clearly a spirit in there, in that house, and I actually saw it come walk through the door. It's kind of like a black figure, hazy kind of,
yeah.
darkness to it, and went in behind my auntie and opened up one of the really high cupboards, and it opened above her, and we were all just sitting in the dining room.
Wow.
So, like,
Mm.
definitely as a kid, not so
Yeah.
much now, but as a kid, yeah.
I've had a couple as an adult,
Mm.
and it's been my birth mother. So my birth mother was really, really sick with cancer, and at the time I was living over in London, and I'd come home to spend a few months with her, but then nipped back to London for Christmas because my fiance at the time had stayed in London, and we were getting married back in New Zealand, like literally a few weeks later. So I was going to spend Christmas with him, have my final dress fitting in London, and then we'd both come back together. Unfortunately, like a couple of days after Christmas, got the call saying she's in hospital and she's not going to make it. She won't be here when you get back. So I then had to make the decision, right, I'm just going to hop on a plane and get home. And during that plane ride, I fell asleep, and I had like blankets and jumpers and stuff, on me. I woke up at, I don't know what time it was, freezing, like shivering cold. And I felt as if I was just being surrounded by this cold presence. And then I heard this voice saying, "It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay." And so then when I because I had a quick stopover in Singapore, when I got to Singapore, I remember at the time, I remember looking at the time, seeing what time it was. When I got off the plane at Singapore, about to hop onto my other one, I got a call saying she'd passed away. And that was the time. That was the time that she had actually passed away in New Zealand.
Wow. Do you know
So
what? I'm so cold right now.
I know.
I just got that, like, all shivery feeling over my body. Wow.
Yeah, yeah, and apparently at that time, she'd been saying to the family around her, "Look after my baby, look after my baby."
Oh, I
Yeah.
mean, if that wasn't
Oh, it had to
such a
be.
spiritual experience
It
letting you
had
know
to
a
be.
message from her, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so then coming back to New Zealand, we ended up moving into the house. She left me her house, and so got married, so my husband and I lived in the house together, and weird things would happen in the house. Not scary things, it was always quite comforting, like, it wasn't scary. So I
Mm.
always kind of thought, "Oh, it just must be her kind of checking in." A a year later, me and my husband decided that we were gonna separate and divorce, so he moved into the spare room. The first night he was in the spare room, he had his glass of water on the bedside table beside him. He woke up in the middle of the night, glass of water had been poured all over him,
What? Was that
and it
your
wasn't
mum your
it
mum saying, "How dare you
"What have you
not make this
done? You
work?"
asshole, what have you done to her?"
Wow, like, you cannot explain that. Like, you know
No,
how people are just like, "Oh, but it could have been this, could have been that." You can't explain that.
and
That is
he was like, "I think it was Kim, like, I honestly think it was her just letting me know that she was really pissed off with me last night."
wow. So, right, there's proof, guys. We've just proved that all of this is actually real.
This is why we love the woo-woo. This is why we believe in the woo-woo.
Yeah, there are people looking out for us, aren't there?
All right. Speaking of that, people looking out for us, the universe providing. I know we both kind of feel this really, really strongly. Like when you need something in your life or in your business, it might be you really need a client or you need a certain amount of income or you, whatever it is that you need, if you're really open to it and you put it out there, more often than not, for us anyway, the universe provides. Not saying that you've got to sit back and do nothing and just let the universe do all the work for you. Like,
Oh,
that doesn't
Sam,
work.
really? Can we not just do that?
No, we
Can we
can't.
not
I'm
just
sorry.
throw up our website and then just be like, yeah, I'm gonna get the clients? Why is it not happening?
The universe is not a silver bullet. The universe is not a silver
Oh, right,
bullet. However, there's been many occasions where it has definitely provided, hasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. So we've had 3 examples of members where they have needed clients. I think all 3 examples were clients. And they weren't coming. We realized that they were really, this is what the universe also likes too. It likes specific things and clarity. So what we
Yes.
got them to do was to say, right, what is the exact thing that you want? What type of client you doing, what kind of service, and exactly how many hours do you want a week?
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as they got clear on that, and obviously showing up and doing the things, boom, the universe provides that exact client because it knows what you want. Have that clarity. 3 times that has happened.
Yeah. And the clarity, being really specific, is key in these situations. Just saying, gosh, I need clients.
Mhm.
Not specific enough.
No.
Gosh, I need to earn I need to earn more money. Once again, not specific enough.
Yeah. And if you haven't heard of Alex Tripod before, highly recommend going checking out her page and the stuff that she talks about,
Yeah.
because one of the examples was a virtual assistant needed to get their first clients on board, and they were doing all of the things, trying everything, doing the stuff that we taught. Nothing was happening. So I had recently just watched Alex Tripod's one of her videos, one of her segments that talked about a situation where you've tried everything, nothing's worked. And she taught this technique of asking for a divine intervention.
Mhm.
And I just heard that when we had a virtual assistant who was struggling. And so I told her to do that, said, try this. So stop trying to get clients, hand it over to the divine, your universe, your God, whatever, whoever you believe in, and ask them for a divine intervention. I reckon it was like less than a week. Less than a week later,
Yeah.
few days, can't remember the specifics. Boom, got a huge client.
It was definitely less than a week. It was powerful stuff. Really powerful stuff. The other example that we see multiple times is virtual assistants that are, for whatever reason, are hanging on to clients that are no longer the right fit for them,
Mhm.
for whatever reason it is. It could be they're not paying enough, they're not valuing, they are disrespecting boundaries. It can be a huge range of reasons.
Swearing at you.
Yes, swearing at you,
How is
being
that even an example? But it has happened
oh
multiple
yeah,
times.
oh yeah, it sure has. Whatever the reason is, the virtual assistant's just been reluctant to let them go or fearful of what the response would be when they let them go. But then as soon as they step into that powerful space where it's like, no, enough's enough, I've got to do it, I'm firing this client, they are opening up the space for better clients to then come into your world.
Mhm.
every single time.
Every single time. One had been hanging on for a client that was, like, paying less than minimum wage when you, like, looked at the hourly rate. She's a contractor, essentially. So not illegal is what that point was. And she'd hang on to them, hang on to them, hang on to them out of fear of not having that money coming in, because at least it was
Yeah,
some money.
at least it was something. Yeah.
But they felt the fear, fired the client anyway, and so much happier, way better clients, earning more money. You gotta do it. You gotta do it.
You've got to create the
You've still
space for
got
that
to
to happen. Sorry, you've got to create the space for that to happen, right?
Yes. Create the space and show up and do the things.
Yeah, once again, no
Like,
silver bullet.
no silver bullet. Don't just not do anything. Make the space. The other clients, you'll attract them in because you are like, right, I've got 20 hours available. So I'm going to try and find some clients to fill 20 hours. That's what I want.
What's your language there, Joe Jensen? I'm trying to find. I am
I'm
going to
going to
find.
get.
Yes.
I'm going to get.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I had Tracy Hancock's in my ear just saying, watch
As
that
soon as I
language.
said trying, I was like, no. So thank you. Yes. No trying, everyone. No trying, just doing.
Joe, what are your thoughts on daily affirmations? I know Mel Robbins, this is a big part of what Mel Robbins teaches. Is that something that you do on a daily basis?
I think if you have quite a lot of negative self-talk, then daily affirmations, absolutely. I don't tend to use them myself. I don't have, strangely, weirdly, I don't know why, I just don't talk negatively to myself. It's like 5% maybe. So that's not something
Yeah.
that I need.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's other things that I do if I'm, like, needing something or to boost my energy. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm kind of the same. It's not something that's part of my daily routine because like
Mm.
you, naturally I have this inner ability just to do things anyway and kind of go,
Mm.
yeah, why wouldn't it work? Yeah, of course I'm going to nail that meeting with that person. Of course they're going to love me, like, because why wouldn't you, right?
Yeah.
However, I do believe that it works
Mm.
for
Mm.
sure.
Mel Robbins, Mel Robbins, great person to listen to. She's got the 5-second rule and the high five something. The high fiving is a really good, like,
Yes.
action orientated daily
Hmm.
affirmation. So yeah, if that's something that you're struggling with, then and you've got that negative self-talk, then
Yeah.
Mel Robbins is a great person to follow. Oh, her videos, outstanding.
Oh, they're so
Amazing.
good. She's such a pro, and she's got a new podcast now as well.
Mm.
Really good if you are also if you suffer from anxiety,
Mm.
overthinking things, fearful about trying new things, whether that's stepping into that breakfast networking meeting or pressing live on your phone to go live on your business page. If you're kind of
Mhm.
just standing there going, oh, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then it's just the action. It just really helps you take
Yep,
that action, doesn't it?
it does. One of the other things too, if I need that kind of confidence boost, if I'm like I did this when I was going to go speak at an event. It was a conference and it was bizarre because as a speaker, you're outside the room. And so you can't see, you have no idea what the room is going to feel like, look like, who all the people are. You're outside these doors and just not knowing and not like feeling the room and the energy was
Mm,
just, like, so terrifying, and I can get up and speak, I'm not afraid to public speak, but it was terrifying because I couldn't get the lay of the land. So I had to go into the bathroom at the hotel, and I did these huge power poses. I put my hands way up in the air, and I was like, you've got this, it's gonna be okay." And just that, like, doing that really shifts your energy and brings
yeah,
that confidence level up. That's something I would do, not the daily affirmations, but I'd do the power poses if I needed that,
the
like,
power
boost of
poses.
confidence.
Yeah, I mean, isn't another popular power pose? Is it the Wonder Woman one where the hands on the hips and back up to shoulders back and chest down and just really feel that power in that I get power pose. That's exactly what it is, right?
Yeah. It's like moving your body into a confident stance that really like does lift your energy. So yeah, that works.
Speaking of confidence and events and public speaking, you may not know. I don't know. Did you notice that I had a crystal on the table at the NZVA Awards this year? Yeah. So that's something that I do, like, and really, it's, once again, not necessarily a daily thing, and it's normally like at our events, so like the summits every year, the awards. If we're filming something that's creating a course or something like that, I always have a crystal, and I would have lathered myself in one of my essential oil blends, like stinky as. But so I don't, I believe in the power of the oil and the crystal, but it's also just that ritual of choosing a crystal, popping it on my desk, choosing the blend, popping it on. So it's kind of a mix of both for me, I think.
Yeah, you have this association, right? So it's like a physical, tangible thing that you can smell and feel that you have associated with, this is how I am going to feel good in this moment because of these things. Yeah. I mean, and essential oils too. That does things when you like breathe them in, is to lifting your energy levels and giving you what you need to. So
once again, how many times have we said it now? Energy. It's all about the energy. What have you got behind you?
Have you noticed that I have crystals all up here? And these little, I think these are garnets. So these ones, sorry if you're listening on the podcast and not watching on YouTube, but these little like garnet things, there's like 10 of them. And so if I need to, I'll just rub that between my fingers to like make me feel good. If I'm just feeling like it, I feeling like I need it. Then,
I've got one. I don't even know what crystal it is. It's an orange one, quite a strong orange color. I need to remind myself of what it's actually called. But that one, I was given it many years ago and was told to like pop it in my cleavage, like in my bra. And because it's round and soft, like you just forget, and I've got big boobs, you just forget it's there. Like it's not until you get undressed at the end of the day, it's like plop, what was that? Oh, that's right. It's the crystal that's been sitting there. Yeah.
And yeah, like whether it's the energy from the actual crystal doing the work, or it's like this, you've told yourself that it's going to work, or that it's like a physical thing you can feel and you've got that association with it, like whatever it is and whatever it is for you, that's why it works for you.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
If you believe in it, if you believe, the power of belief. I really want to talk about good vibes and juju. This is woo-woo for some people.
Pretty sure it's quite scientific as well. If you like, the thing that comes to mind is like, how are you showing up online? What language are you using? As one example. And what vibe is that giving off? Because like we see virtual assistants that are giving off a very like victim mindset, poor me, negativity, this is why this is not working, or I don't do this because like that kind of like, that's not giving off a good vibe and energy.
No,
how's it going to make you feel better either?
The other type of energy that does not come across well is desperation.
Oh, check out the podcast called Desperation is Ugly. We talk about this in there because, oh man, it's bad,
I don't think any type of client is going to be attracted to a vibe that is sending off desperation feelings.
No, this is the time to be a cool cat.
Cool cat.
But you don't need the client, because as soon as you become that needy, I need this client, and that desperation, like I did that 100%. I did that when I was trying to find my first clients. One of the clients who was then with us for like 8 years or something, he actually reminded me, he was like, that meeting, like you were saying things like, we could do anything for you. It
Oh,
was like, I
no.
could tell you needed a client.
Oh.
Like, we all do it, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if we can just have the stance of or that attitude or that energy of like, we're gonna work together if it works for both of us, and it's
Yes.
okay if it doesn't.
Yeah.
Way better vibe.
Ah, that's the vibe
So
I have gone into with every single lead that I have ever met.
mm,
Let's just have a conversation. Let's just
mhm,
see if we're gonna get on. If it happens, that's fantastic. If it
yep,
doesn't, hey, it's no skin off my nose.
mm, yeah, and I bet they all said yes because you
I
didn't
have
come across
okay,
the
yeah, I don't know if I've shared this. I have
oh,
only ever had one lead that hasn't wanted to work with me.
wow. I mean, you're great at building relationships, and that's what it's about.
Mm.
Having that energy that, like, whether you could take it or leave it is one
Yeah.
thing, and then also they're like, "This is me, I'm building the relationship, I'm completely myself." Like, you give off that vibe. There's no facade, you are who
Mm-mm.
you are, and people are really attracted to that. Mm,
Proof's in the pudding. Proof is in the pudding
yep.
for sure.
Okay, money manifestation and law of attraction. Oh, my
Love it.
favorite.
Yeah.
We did a challenge
We've done it 2
earlier in
years
the
in a
year,
row, 2 years
2
in a
years in a
row.
row.
Yeah,
Yeah,
in the Members Club Mastermind, we've done this challenge.
yeah, and, like, we go through a specific process of, like, clearing out and making space and, like, finding
Mhm,
all the little bits of hidden money that you have in your life, and man, it works. The
mhm.
results of manifesting random money into your life is very, very powerful. It's very cool, like, amazing.
Yeah, this was probably this of all the things that we're talking about in this particular episode, all of the wonderful woo-woo things, this manifestation was the one that I fought the longest on, I think. At first when I heard of it, even me, very spiritual, open to most things, me was like, "How can that work? Really?
Yeah,
Like,
really?
actual money in my account?" So I fought this one. I fought this one for a few years, and then I think, oh gosh, which book did I read? Was it one of Denise Duffield Thomas's
Denise
books?
Duffield Thomas, yeah, she's great
Yeah.
if you know about
There
this.
was something about the way she talked about it that I was like, "Okay, you're not some totally weird hippie, out of this world type of woman. That you're very sensible." So I'm
Yeah,
actually gonna listen to
mm,
you talk about it. And it was like, "Holy shit. Wow. This is huge." Like, if I can believe in this, can you just imagine what you can then achieve?
yeah.
Huge.
Well well, one of the steps she talks about is, the, like, writing down all of your money stories and blocks that you have. Like, all of those things that happened as a child, to do with money or your parents saying constantly, "We can't afford that, we can't afford that," or always
Mhm.
feeling like wanting and needing, and that scarcity mindset that you then create from having a childhood like that. Powerful writing all of that down, and I was surprised at the things that I could write down because you
Ah,
don't think about them, but when you stop and think about, "Where did I get that story from? What happened? What was the messages that we got from our parents around money?" Brings that all into your adult life and your business.
yeah. Delve deep on that one if you haven't already looked into it, definitely. That's life-changing, absolutely
Mhm.
life-changing.
In Law of Attraction, so there was a CD. I must listen to it again, actually. There's a CD that I listened to. It's a guy. It's a like a recorded thing where he was presenting to a group of people in like a seminar, and I listened to it. Honest hand on heart, more than 50 times. I'd
Mhm.
had it in my car when we listened to CDs in our car about 10 years ago. A CD that I would just have on repeat. It was about 45 minutes, and I constantly listened to it. And this just I couldn't think about anything else other than attracting it, like all the things that I wanted into my business and into my life. And I did that for a couple of years. and shit happened constantly for me because it was so front of mind. I would spend a lot of time driving to clients back in the early days until I figured out that you don't have to drive to clients anymore. And that is one of the key things that helped me back then, growing the business and believing that I could do it and attracting a whole lot of shit.
Law of attraction.
Yep.
Energy.
He talks a lot about in the CD the frequency and like where you're vibrating at. A lot of vibrational talk in there, and like where your vibration is compared to other people, and why, like, if someone calls you and like every time you see their name, or it might be a client that every time you see their name pop up you dread, you're not on the same frequency. And so he talks about you naturally, what you'd do if you're not aware of it is you'd lower your frequency to match that other person. But if you don't allow that, then that person can't lift up their frequency to you if that's kind of their mindset. And so they'll just not be a client anymore, or not call you anymore, or not be friends with you anymore. And that's how you can start only having the people that you want in your life and clients that you want, by keeping your vibe at your level and not lowering it down to theirs. So I've been using that in your sales meetings so that client doesn't even become a client. That's the ultimate in repelling the wrong type of client for you, right?
At networking events, same deal, right?
Yep.
Yep. Look into it if you haven't already. Gosh, we've been talking about this for a while. I reckon we should wrap it up.
We have.
But before we do, we need to touch on trusting your gut, trusting your instincts, not ignoring them.
Because if none of what we've talked about has resonated with you, and you're like, yeah, whatever, woo-woo's not for me, you probably haven't even listened to this episode.
No,
if woo-woo's not for you.
They would have stopped 5 minutes into it when we were talking about ghost stories, I think.
If you take on nothing else but this final point of trusting your gut and going with your instincts, like, we'll be happy. This is the one that you have to listen to. Trusting your gut.
I don't think there is an instant in my entire life where I have ignored my gut and things have turned out well.
That little feeling of like, oh, something doesn't feel right. It's not nerves. It's not excitement. I can't pinpoint it, but something doesn't feel right. That's your gut.
It's a niggly little feeling, or a little voice in your head just going,
Or just smacking your head straight on the window.
That's not your gut. That was the universe for sure. It's just weird. Or it was just the drugs. Maybe the drugs have done something to you. We see virtual assistants ignoring their gut, ignoring those instincts when it comes to accepting wrong fit clients, ignoring those red flags because they really want it to work. They really want it to work.
Oh, yeah. One of our members actually admitted in the group a couple of days ago that, like, I started, like, we had warned of the red flags of this specific type of client.
Yes.
She was like, no, I'm got a good feeling. It's going to be great. It's going to be good. And then she admitted that, like, I was telling myself those things, but then I started to see little orange flags. Didn't want them to be red flags. And now I'm like, right, I'm trusting my gut. Yeah. I'm not going to take on the client. Yes. Trust your gut.
Best decision that she will have made this month for sure. Easily. Easily. You can't ignore that niggly little feeling. Never ends well.
Yeah, we hope we've opened your mind to woo-woo. You know what? We've proved it here on this podcast episode. It's real. All of that proof. all of that proof.
Surely. And you know what? I'm just thinking there are things that we haven't even covered, like, but we need to wrap it up because we've actually got an appointment in like 4 minutes. So we've got to be somewhere. But like visualization, that's another thing.
Yeah.
I visualize all the time with big
100%.
things.
Yeah.
Picture myself in the situation, nailing it, boom. Why wouldn't it happen?
Love that. Did that as a kid as well.
Yes.
So good. So good.
So good.
All right. Wrapping it up. Woo-woo is real. This is proof. And we'd love to hear, like, message us. Let us know your experiences with woo-woo. We would love to continue this conversation with you. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Sam and Joe VA Show. If you'd like to find out more, head to the VA Foundry website to check out the Members Club and the amazing resources, training, and coaching.
You can find us at thevafoundry.com.